Welcome back, beautiful souls. This is your weekly forecast for July 19th through the 25th. I'm Portia, your host of the channel. And look, y'all, look, I have the card of the week in my hand, but before I flip this over, I have to tell you, the sky is moving this week, right? And so we got the sun changing signs, right? We're going from Cancer to Leo. And thank goodness, y'all, finally Mercury is turning direct this week, right on the 23rd. And it can't happen soon enough for me. I've been having a lot of issues. I'm sure quite a few of y'all have had some technological issues and whatnot happening. So thank God we'll be coming out of that fog this week as well. And the moon is bringing a relationship test. Now, the coolest thing that's happening as well this week is that we have about 4 planets coming into alignment. Also, so this is big collective energy, right? This is big shifts and big innovation and also transformation that can be happening this week too, with those planets coming into alignment. So, and what card do we need to guide us through all this? Dun, da, 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 right? The Three of Diamonds, right? This week is ruled by the Three of Diamonds. And the Three of Diamonds is creative work, creative value, creative money, right? And so when you think about the Three of Diamonds, it also deals with work, but also threes, can have indecisive energy as well. So plus, right, we're in a universal 8th month. So with this card in the month's energy, it's not just about thinking about positive energy and abundance, right? It's not just about that. It's about, can you turn your ideas into something valuable without scattering your energy? Right? Right. You guys weren't thinking about that. See, this mixes in the card and the month. So this is the theme of the week. It's about focusing on the one thing that's going to bring you the most valuable without you scattering or your energy or being distracted. So let's dive into this week, starting with the astrology and see what's coming up as far as the celestial movement. All right, y'all. Look, we got a lot going on this week with the astrological events. For one thing, we got Leo season beginning. Yay, right? Shout out to all my Leo. I am myself am a Leo rising. So, this is my season to step out and be out in the sun like all Leos do. Unfortunately, we're wrapping up Cancer season. And so the sun is now moving into Leo, bold and radiant. That's on July 22nd, which is Wednesday. So we're moving from nesting to shining, right? It's time to get outside, y'all, right? Especially after this retrograde. It's time for us to go ahead and get it back into action, right? All this being dormant during retrograde season. So we're moving from emotional security to creative visibility, right? So now is the time for you to be seen. And because Jupiter is in Leo, that is being ever more expanded, right? So this Leo season is being amplified with having Jupiter in Leo along with the sun. So the spotlight is turning up, confidence is getting louder, and creative expression, well, it becomes bigger. So are you willing to be seen for what you are creating? And that is what Leo season and Jupiter in Leo is asking you in this moment. So, that plays right in line with the Three of Diamonds theme. Yes, what we were talking about this week. And another big thing that's happening this week would be Mercury turning direct. Yes, thank goodness, right after three weeks of retrograde. Wow, time really did go by fast. Mercury is turning direct on Thursday, July 23rd, and it's in the sign of Cancer. So yes, we're going to be able to start breathing again. The fog is going to lift. The veil is going to be removed. And now we're going to be more clear in our communication because now we've had enough time to do a lot of reflection, introspection during the retrograde period in Cancer. So just watch out, right? We're still coming out of the grogginess of being in retrograde. So, things are not going to be immediately clear, but just start to feel things become a little bit lighter during this week. So again, things don't happen just overnight with energy. It kind of overlaps. So you may have a little bit of delay happening this week. So watch out for that. But for the most part, we are now coming out of that fog. So especially around Thursday, let clarity return before you start making the major decisions. You start doing the heavy action. So review your plan before making action this week. But definitely, we're coming out of it. So by next week, you should be back in full swing. Now, the third headline that we have happening this week is the moon sign, right? So as you can see, this week moon and actually moving from Libra to Sagittarius. So last week we had the new moon in Cancer on July 14th, and this week we have the moon starting in Libra. Now, with it being in Libra, it's going to bring part balance and focus to our relationships. And we have the first quarter moon happening on Tuesday on July 1st. Now, first quarter moons typically bring a test. And so it's asking you, do you really want what you said you wanted? Right? These first quarter moons, they're no joke. This is the test that's coming up. So did you really want what you said you wanted during this retrograde period? And that is the one that Libra brings, right? Test through many different relationships, agreements, balance, contracts, shared responsibility. It's asking you to discern about who gets access to you, who gets your energy, who gets your time, who gets your attention, who gets your ideas, who gets your money, right? And it's all about your future and not what someone else wants. So this energy that we have this week with this moon, first quarter moon testing us, is really going to give you a little bit of just, right? A moment to pause about where you're headed and if that's truly the direction that you are in alignment with, or is that just something that you're doing because you're chasing the trend or somebody told you to do it, right? So then the moon is going to move into Scorpio also on Tuesday, and it's going to be asking for emotional truth. Scorpio don't play. Scorpio does a deep dive. When it comes to emotion, it's intense. So it's nothing on the surface when it comes to Scorpio. So it's going to be a deeper honesty around money and your worth. And by Thursday night, the moon is going to enter into Sagittarius. We're going to lift the energy into movement, faith, into a big picture vision, which is all the energy that Sagittarius has to bring. But we have to do that deep dive in Scorpio first before we can take action in Sagittarius. So this is going to be a really action-packed week. Also in the background, watch out because we have Jupiter, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto all around the 19th and the 21st, someone in an alignment, right? So this is collective energy. This is big picture energy. And this is the kind of energy that says systems are shifting, old structures are being rewritten, make way for the new future way of doing things, right? And so we have to prepare for the future and stop clinging to old ideals, because this collective energy is telling us, hey, we're moving forward with or without you, right? So either you keep up or you get left behind, and that's the kind of energy. And look, you don't have to control everything. Right? You can just allow these things to happen and just know that as these changes are happening, you are improving or also getting better with these changes, right? And so you also want to view this change in a more positive light, because everything is always for the best. Yes. I mean, everything that happens on the surface may not look good, but once the whole process completes and the transformation completes, you see that it was all worth it. So embrace the change, basically, is what I'm saying, right? You don't have to control it, but you can notice where in your life it's asking for reinvention, for reimagination, for renovation, right? It's time to renovate your life at this point. If you've been doing the same old thing, getting the same results, then it's time to reinvent yourself in some way. So we have a creative money card with the 3 of diamonds. And then we also have the 8th universal month with July. And we got Leo season turning up this week. We got Mercury clearing the fog. We got the Libra moon testing the balance. And we have a collective change energy all in the background. So we got a lot going on this week. And get ready for it, y'all. That's all I can say. So let's look at the daily numbers for the week. We're starting off on Sunday, July 19th on the 9-day, y'all. So this, coupled with the 3 of diamond energy, is all about releasing the old money story. 9 is the number of completion, release, forgiveness, closure, finales, right? And so this 3 of diamond energy is asking you to release your old money story, right? The belief that you can't get paid for your creativity, the belief that you can't get paid for your artwork. Release that. And the guilt around how much you're charging for your gifts and your talent. If you think that you're charging too much, or you're feeling guilty for charging for too much, or you're keeping your prices low, thinking that you want everybody to afford your service, well, think about this. You're premium, and so you deserve to charge a premium price for your service. Yes, whatever you have to offer is uniquely yours, and so people should pay you for your services. And so this Sunday is going to ask you to release whatever beliefs you have around your value, your worth, and your money. So don't have any more shame or guilt around it anymore. Just release it. Don't force a new beginning on Sunday. That's not the day for that. It's just a matter of just being aware, acknowledge where you are, and then release what no longer works. It's just the day to clear the emotional clutter that you have going on, and that's it. Close the chapter on that, right? And then we're going to start fresh tomorrow or the next day, which is Tuesday, on Monday, which is a one day, right? We're on Monday, July 20th. And so that's a one day. And so the theme, along with that one day energy and that three of diamonds, is asking you to plant the creative seed. So we close the chapter on Sunday. Now on Monday, it's time to plant that seed. It's because one is the number of fresh starts, new beginnings, independent initiative, new direction. So with that three of diamond energy, this is your big idea day, right? This should be the day that you have the big idea to move forward on a plan that you may have been thinking about for a while, but too shy to get started with, or didn't know how to get started. Now's the day to take that action on Monday. Write it down, if nothing else, right? And then write what you want to offer. What do you want to create? Outline it on Monday. That's the day to do it. Give it a name. Give it a name. But remember, Mercury is still in retrograde, and that's why I'm saying be kind of careful about what you decide to take action on Monday, because one is an action-oriented number, so you may want to start, moving in the direction that you want to go. But just be aware, we're still under that haziness of the retrograde, so I wouldn't do too much on Monday, but you can start writing down your plans, right? You can at least start there. So it's a day to begin with new intention, is what I would say. Now, on Tuesday, July 21st, we're under a 3-day, we're under a 2-day, and with two energy, we are talking about partnership, y'all, right? That's what we're talking about. This is an 11-2 day, to be honest with you, because Tuesday 21 equals a 3, and we're in a universal 8 months, so that'll give you 11. So this is a visionary insight day, right? Along with your partnership test. So 2 is the number of partnerships, don't get it wrong, right? The number of diplomacy, goodwill, ambassador, emotional intelligence, intuition, all that good stuff. But with it being an 11-2 day, all that gets heightened, right? All that awareness, all the intuition is at a higher level when we're talking about that 11-2 energy. And then we're going to throw in the mix of the first quarter moon in Libra on that Tuesday too. Woo, right? Your intuition should be working on overtime, and you should be discerning and moving through the day, using your intuition and not so much mental capacity. And also being more aware of how you feel about things on Tuesday, right? Because this is a great way for you to discern how your next move should be, because you should know how you want to feel when you step into that new chapter of your life, whether that's joy, whether that's relief, whether that's, happiness, whether that's completion, whatever the feeling is that you want to have, you should already know what it is that you're striving for as far as that emotional achievement. So Tuesday is going to help give you a little more clarity in that direction. It may bring you a test around cooperation, maybe around you splitting something with someone or sharing something, conversation that needs to be balanced, right? When you're talking about relationships or your work or something like that. Maybe you need to clarify your collaboration with the partnership that you have with someone in business. And so that's really going to be the theme for Tuesday. Use your emotional discernment. And also remember, we still have the influence of the 3 of diamonds as well this week, and that's going to be happening on Tuesday as well. So watch out for scattered energy, right? So that 3 can be very indecisive, very scattered and focused. So if anything, I would be more discerning about how I feel about something than how I think about something on Tuesday, right? So slow down, choose the option that's going to create the most amount of peace for you and not the pressure. This is not the time to people please. This is the time for you to do self reflection to see how you want to feel in the near future here. You don't have to be overpowering, right? You just need to be in alignment with who you truly are. And that's going to happen on Tuesday. Now, on Wednesday, July 22nd, that is a universal three energy. And so that theme is shine with focus. And so this is your standout day of the week, because you got two threes going on, right? You got the universal day three energy, then you got the three of diamonds energy working for you. And so this is the day of creativity, expression, visibility, getting yourself out there, being seen. And then we also got Leo starting on that day. So it's a lot of just being out in the sun, putting yourself out there, expressing yourself as best as you can creatively, whether that's through writing, whether that's through music, whether you're writing a song, whether you're writing or drawing something out, right? Have some artistic expression in that kind of way. So there's going to be a lot of just pushing to really get seen on that day, right? This is a very powerful day for that. For you to share your work, record that video, pitch that idea, post that offer, right? Time to create, to teach, to speak, and let yourself be seen on Wednesday, because of that 3 day energy along with the three of diamonds. But again, we're talking about three energy. So watch out for scattered focus. Yes, I'm telling you to put yourself out there, but be focused and intentional about what you're doing and not chasing the next shiny thing or doing what somebody else said was good for you. Make sure that's in alignment with you and you're not being scattered and you're not burning yourself out, or you're not out there just throwing something at the wall to see what sticks, right? Pick one creative expression and give it your full energy. That is the challenge on that day, right? Because, like I said, scattered energy, indecisiveness can happen with the three. So the medicine of the three of diamond is not more ideas, right? On that 3 day energy, it's not more ideas. It's about picking one that is in true alignment with you and seeing that vision to completion. So on Thursday, we have Universal 4 day energy. And so the theme for Thursday is build that container. Fours like structure, they're the foundation, discipline, systems, practical, right? That's what the four can be. And fours can be boring and dull, right? That's, but beautifully boring is what I call the four. And so also that segues into the Mercury turning direct on Thursday as well. So it's a befitting day because now's the day to not only structure your plans, but review everything that has gone on or you've gone through the last 3 weeks with Mercury being in retrograde in Cancer. So on this 4 day, it's saying build the container, make the spreadsheet, price the offer, clean up the sales page, right? Get ready to get ready to get ready on this day. Now, again, Mercury would just be turning direct on this day. So I wouldn't put a whole lot of weight into action on this day, but it is a great day to plan or review your plans and structure your offer. So when you're ready to make the move, everything will already be laid out, your systems will be in place, and you've been disciplined enough to focus on one thing to bring it to completion. Because creativity without structure is just noise, y'all. It's just not going to work. But when you have creativity with structure, well, you have a product, my friend, right? You're putting those two energies together and manifesting something solid here. So it could be a product, it could be a message, it could be a service, it could be a business, it could be a movement, or even a new stream of income for you if you use this energy wisely on Thursday. So Thursday, again, fours are boring. Then it's not going to be a flashy day, right? It's not going to be one of them days where you're just going to want to be out and about, but it is a very useful day for you to review your plans or plan your work or work your plan, right? And so use that day to turn what you have, your ideas, into money. So on Friday, July 24th, We're on a 5 day. And so the theme with that day is move with flexibility. 5 is change. 5 is movement. 5 is freedom. 5 is marketing. 5 is travel. 5 is information, right? Because Mercury rules the number 5. And 5 like to experiment. So this is the first full day after Mercury turns direct. And so there's going to be some green lights start to come on, right? They may start to flicker back on this day. And the 3 of diamonds on the 5 day, well, guess what? 3s and 5s love variety, right? 5s can be just as friendly and outgoing as the 3. They're very sociable numbers. But 5 brings a new angle to it because 5 is a little more flexible, right? May not be as creative as the 3, but it definitely is more flexible. And so with that, you may be looking at a new way to do things. Maybe you're trying to go for a new angle. Maybe you're going to target a new audience. Maybe you're going to package your services or your product in a different way. Or you could come up with a whole nother side income idea on this day as well. So stay flexible, right? Um, be like water on this 5 day, right? Just go with the flow. And the best opportunity may not look like what you exactly thought it was going to show up to look like. And that's why I'm saying, like, you have to be adaptable to whatever shows up on a 5 day because it never appears the way that you think it should look, right? And don't confuse flexibility with chaos. If it's for you, you'll know because you're being in alignment with it emotionally. So 5 day is all about exploration, doing a little experimentation. But it's also in a creative realm with that 3 of diamonds energy. And since you're still in an 8 month, then it's also putting that value tag on whatever you're doing as well. So before you say yes, because remember, we're still coming out of that retrograde haze and you don't want to be too impulsive because 5 can give impulsive energy. You want to ask this question: does this opportunity support my worth? Does it expand my value? Or does it align with my bigger vision? And so ask these questions before you to start to take action on that 5 day, which is Friday. And this moves us into the last day of the week, which is Saturday, and a universal day 6 energy. And so the theme is return to what matters. So 6 is home, harmony, responsibility, family, right? So 6 is where the heart is, literally, because it's the number of love, but ruled by Venus. So after a creative money moves, happening all through the week, Saturday is going to bring us back to the heart, right? So this begs the question of who are you doing this for? What kind of life are you building? What kind of home environment are you setting up for yourself? What kind of peace and support group are you building, right? Because 6 is all about that supportive energy. And how are you communicating with others? And who do you have in mind and in your heart when you think about creating a product or a service or putting that post out there or whatever your business endeavor is? Because with that 3 of diamond energy, and we're on a 6 day, you're going to be looking more or less to spend time on maybe yourself, maybe a self-care routine, maybe a beauty routine that could happen on that day. Or you may be spending money on cleaning your house because that happens too, right? Decluttering and making way for what's coming in new. So it really is a time to beautify yourself, your environment, and just your life on this day, right? That's where the money should be spent on that 3 of diamonds day on the 6th day. So invest in what nourishes your heart and your home on that day. And you can also balance your checkbook, right? Relationships on that day. So make sure your pursuits about money are not disconnecting you from others, right? Make sure that whenever you think about money, think about how it's going to benefit others, right? Even by you making money, how is you making money benefiting others? Right? Maybe you making money benefits your family. Maybe you're taking care of an elderly parent and you making this money means that they'll be in a better position so this is what I'm talking about when we're talking about the 3 of diamonds on the 6 day energy, because it's not all about you, right? Oftentimes your greatest success comes from others or through others and how you help them, because solving other people's problems usually is the road to the greatest amount of success. Yes. And whenever you have the greatest good for all in mind, then you, my friend, are beyond a billionaire at this point, right? So you have to look at it in that way. So it's what your life feels like while you're earning money. How do you want to feel while you work, right? And so these are the greater themes that we have to focus on towards the end of the week. And we're coming out of that work Mercury retrograde energy, so you'll have more clarity about who it is that you have in your heart and mind, and why you're doing this, right? What's your purpose and who is it for? After a long day, come back to yourself. The Divine Align Candle and Journal Bundle was created to help you slow down, breathe deeper, and reconnect with your inner self. Light your candle, open your journal, set your intention. Let each ritual anchor peace, clarity, and alignment into your daily routine. Find your number, choose your candle, begin your ritual. Shop the Divine Align Bundle now at soulcardstudioshop.com. So let's talk about the card of the week, the Three of Diamonds. As you guys know, the number three is a number of creativity, expression, imagination, movement. And the shadow side of the three can be indecision, worry, indecisiveness, right? Because threes tend to have scattered focus. With the Three of Diamonds, though, that can mean a change in values, right? Because the three is an ever evolving number, always trying to express itself. So it may change its mind, right? That's where the indecision comes in. And, diamonds being the suit of money and values, then just putting those two together, you can easily see how the Three of Diamonds is going to play out for this week. So when it shows up, the message is clear. Your creativity has value, your ideas have value, you have value, right? But are you focused enough to see that value actually turn into revenue, right? And that's what that challenge of the Three of Diamonds is, because oftentimes, going down a path, it'll start working in one direction, and then it start chasing the next shiny object without completing this project first, and then start another project before getting that one done. And before you know it, you'd have nothing done, right? Nothing is complete because you scattered your energy. So the value comes from focus when we're talking about the Three of Diamonds, to be honest with you. So this card does bring in fresh ideas, right? Because it is the energy of creativity. So you're going to have new ideas, probably fresh ideas coming to you this week that could manifest into some good revenue, yes. But are you focused enough to see those projects to completion? And that's where the challenge is going to come in. So you'll probably have some breakthroughs about your business, about how to price things, about the value that you bring to your audience, or what other value you could bring into this world. Anything that's creative, right? You may be on a creative energy streak where you wanting to write more, put yourself out there more, express yourself. So this is definitely the week to do that, especially when it comes to your work and your money, because the Three of Diamonds is all about expressing your worth and your value. And when you do that on a larger scale, then you will receive many blessings. And that's what that Three of Diamond energy is all about. Now, again, we are also in a universal 8th month, so that really does support the power and abundance of the Three of Diamonds energy. And so this 8 number, right, is the power of manifestation, executive energy, abundance, right, expansion, excessiveness. That's what the 8 represents. And so this entire month is really telling us to take a look at our relationships with money, with power, responsibility, and how we harvest that energy. So the Three of Diamonds inside of the 8th month asks one question this week, and that is, can you turn your creativity into something of real value without scattering yourself, right? It goes back to that Three of Diamonds energy. And it's good. I mean, it's not anything wrong with that, for you to have a lot of ideas, for you to want to take action on a lot of different things. But at the end of the day, what are you building? Because you can start out building something, but then if you don't ever finish these things, then it'll never manifest into what you want it to be. And so to this week is asking you to rein in that focus, right? And focus on the one thing that not only allows you to honor your worth and your value, but also help serve others. And when you serve others, so much more comes back to you in return. So that is the theme for this week. And so trust your intuition, choose wisely, and don't try to do everything all at once. The Three of Diamonds is not asking you to have all the answers about money this week. It's asking you to get honest about your value. What can you create? What can you express? What can you package, sell, or teach to others that benefits them, but also honors your worth as well, right? Honors your value as well. Because we're in this universal 8th month, the universe is just not asking what you want, it's asking, what are you ready to take responsibility for? So, if you want daily, deeper breakdowns or access to my weekly videos, early access to my weekly videos, and access to my Soul Member Society app, then join my Substack. The link is below. And also, I want to hear from you. Put your birth card in the comments or tell me what's the one thing that you're ready to take action on this week that expresses your worth, right? Where you're expressing your value. So leave that in the comments below. I look forward to seeing that information down there. And look, if you guys have a suggestion about a particular card, or if you want to see a deeper dive on a card, let me know in the comments below as well, and I'll be more than glad to make a video on that particular card. Now, as always, beautiful soul, I am not here to impress minds, but I am here to awaken souls. Take care, and I'll see you next week.